I'm Tim Kittro, and here to bring home the bacon are Big Ryan the Fat Guy.
I'm in charge. What's up, YouTube? It's the NFL picks against the spread for the wildcard weekend of the 21-22 NFL season. Fat Guy, we finished this year 2 games below 500 for the regular season, so hopefully we can redeem ourselves and end up above 500 during the playoffs. On to the games. Wildcard weekend, we're starting off with Saturday, 4:35. I believe it's 4:35 p.m. Eastern time start. The Las Vegas Raiders thrillingly make it into the playoffs. They take on the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 6.5-point favorites at home. Only 10% of early bettors are on the Bengals. Fat Guy, who you got?
First of all, we have to do an interlude. I'm going to concede that this Sunday evening thriller might be the best football game I've ever watched, considering the slow pacing, the fourth down drama, the are they going to tie drama. Imagine for the sports book, the tie prop. I don't know the numbers, but I would imagine it was a pretty popular bet at a terrible odd set of 22-1. Like that last run by Josh Jacobs and the kick. I'm sorry, but it has to be mentioned. I think it's the best football game I've ever watched when you look at the whole season and how it comes together. Steelers, it had so many facets. I'm still flabbergasted. I had to shout it out. NFL, the reason you make so much money is you have a really good product, right? I thought the reffing was horrendous, but the drama was akin to any director. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sorry. That being said, we're going to be taking the Las Vegas Raiders. I think 6.5 is the new 7.5. 6 being quite a key number here. Although Big Rye has an idea that this could kind of shift things a little bit, considering the aggressiveness of he thinks 3 might become less of a key number in the long run, because teams are really going for it. Let's be honest here. I love 6.5. As a number. It's the new 7.5, as I said, because the frequency of the number 6, miss Pats, that type of thing. That being said, we're going to be taking dogs, it feels like, a lot, and that might be a theme for the show, but I think there is good value here at Raiders plus 6.5. I'm not sure how I thought of this line in my head. I'm not sure if we discussed it in the live stream, but this feels like a few too many points. The pick's going to be Raiders plus 6.5 and hopefully another thriller.
The next game for Saturday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time start. The New England Patriots travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills, who are 4.5-point favorites at home. 33% of very, very early bettors, Fat Guy, are on the Bills. Who you got?
I'm going to be taking the New England Patriots in the contest. Well, I guess it's not really a contest; it's the pick video. But I like them. I like them more to win. When it's in that dead zone between 4 and 5.5, I don't think that the frequency of I've mentioned this when I rambled in that last video I did solo. The frequency of 4 and 5 are substantial enough to choose over the money line, because I just think, and I'll say this again, I think you realize your equity better by betting the money line, because of the I don't think it's priced properly in relation to the numbers 4, 4.5, 5, and 5.5. You can make cases for 3, 3.5, 6, 6.5, 7 and 7.5, but I think in that dead zone 4 to 5.5 is the way to go. And if Big Ry could look up the money line exactly on Pinnacle to see what the price is currently, I'd be curious to see that.
It's also plus 180 for the Pats, minus 205 for the Bills.
Man, that's like even more than I would have thought too. So I was thinking it was like 172 was in the number in my head. So, obviously I don't know the juice. It's not listed in this. So, I can't do an exact mental calculation. I'm not that much of a sicko. But that being said, I do like New England. I'm going to be betting them to win, I believe, just because I think that that's a worthy risk. Much like how I bet the Detroit Lions to win. Thank you, Detroit, for making my week again. Oddly enough, been on the right side of that team, and that's why I'm wearing my Lucky Paint shirt and my Lucky Detroit Lions hat, if there is such a thing. What an oxymoron. So the pick's going to be Pats plus 4.5, but I prefer Pats on the money line, even though it's a higher variance play, 1.8 to 1. That's a nice price. And now we did notice that some of these early bet percentages, 67. So 2/3 of people are betting on the Pats. That's 2/3 of early bettors. What type of bettors tend to bet early? Tend to be the sharper ones. I'd like to do a little bit more of a focus on early line bets to later ones, but it's be difficult to have that type of data. That might be very valuable one day. That being said, the pick is going to be the Pats. How many? What's the volume of bets here on the?
378 so far.
There you go. See, it's not that many, and then we're probably going to have on where we get our numbers from 70,000 maybe at close.
I'd say about 90,000 to 100,000 probably for this playoff game.
There you go. You ask the guy who inputs the data. That's probably the best way of going. See what I mean? You can't do this show solo as much as you'd like me to every week and ramble for 41 minutes. The pick is going to be the Pats. The bet is going to be the money line. But as far as the spread's concerned, I'm going to take 4.5 as well for the show.
And then on to the Sunday morning game or Sunday early afternoon game if you're on the East Coast. Eagles, Tampa Bay, Buccaneers. Buccaneers 9.5-point favorites at home. 98% of early bettors are on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In fact, I think anybody who watches this show on a regular basis is going to know who you got in this one.
Well, it's going to be the Eagles. We're going to go, he just takes underdogs. Fire it up in the comments. Completely fine. I don't mind the Eagles at this price. I'm not actually going to be betting it, but I do have to make selections every week and on every game, and it does go against our record. So it's going to be the Eagles plus 9.5. I just went on this rant that about early bettors are usually sharper. This is going to be against them. So this is purely, we'll call it a contest pick, despite there not actually being a contest. So it's going to be, by the way, we'll get to the winner later. The contest was the only thing more thrilling than this Sunday night's game. That being said, it'll be purely a contest pick. Eagles plus 9.5. I want to see if this shifts to 10.5. And also, to another theory I had. Remember I said about the dead zone between 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5. I want to know if that also applies to the dead zone beyond 7.5. Is 8, 8.5 key numbers enough? And if they are 9, 9.5 better realized through a long shot money line play, right? And then how key is 10, 10.5? So 9, 9.5 might be the second dead zone above 3.5. I know I'm sounding like crazy and just throwing numbers, but this might be another area where the money line, which is currently at Pinnacle Big Rye, if you could refresh me, please.
Yeah, I'll just take a look here. It's minus 410 for Tampa, plus 335 at the moment for the Philadelphia Eagles.
It might be better realized as a plus 33. Sorry, it's 330, 335.
Yeah.
It might be better realized as a plus 335 rather than a plus 9.5 at what juice? Minus 10.
Well, plus 9.5 is minus 115. So I'm just looking at it.
There you
if
go.
you really wanted to take like equal juice into consideration, this is much more of an 8.5. So it's been artificially boosted up. I don't know if that's one of those teaser type things with it being at 9.5, but interesting to think about and discover where you think the best price is going to be if you do like either of these sides.
What he means by teasers is just because if they move the 6 points, right, like from 8.5 to 2.5, that glosses over. It's called a Wong teaser. So I'm not going to explain the whole thing in detail, but it does go over the key numbers of 7, 6, and 3. So that's 3 key numbers, so it actually ends up being beneficial, at least back in the day, and probably on some very rare, very difficult to find written out parlay cards at your local restaurant or perhaps in Las Vegas at probably Old Vegas would be my guess. That being said, the pick is just purely for entertainment purposes. Use at your own risk. It will be the Eagles plus 9.5. Well, now I actually like it a little bit more because, for record's sake, I'm getting it at even juice, right? So it feels like I'm making maybe it is a sharp play purely for the entertainment record aspect of it. So Eagles plus 9.5.
On to the next one. The midday game is going to be San Fran at Dallas. I know in the live stream a lot of people were saying this is the game that they are most excited for. Dallas is 3-point favorites at home. 72% of early bettors, fat guy, are on the Dallas Cowboys. Now the real question is, who you got?
Well, we're going to be the San Francisco 49ers. This one I don't have strong feelings about. I would honestly, if it ends up at 3.5, I'd like the Niners to actually make a bet. If it ends up at 2.5, I would consider Dallas. So early bettors seem to like Dallas. I'm not really a Dallas fan, so I probably have a unseeded negative bias against the Dallas Cowboys, and I am a bit of a San Fran fan when it comes to their how they conduct offense. Not necessarily the play, but the scheming is just interesting, right? So this is the game I actually want to watch the most. More because this also has a little bit of historical aspect to it, patina, as I like to say during the live stream. So considering the bit of a feud in the 90s. So I think this will just be a fun one. This is purely an entertainment pick. It'll be the San Francisco 49ers plus 3 points.
This is going to be 5-star entertainment for sure. On to the next game. The Sunday nighter is going to be between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are 13-point favorites at home. Even as of now, there still isn't any betting info as far as betting percentages or bets placed at our source. Fat Guy, who you got?
We're going to take the Steelers here. This is the game I was off by a long shot in the chat. I thought this was going to be like a 8.5, and it's very rare for me to get a game that off. But then Big Rye refreshed me with how poorly, really realistically, the Pittsburgh Steelers have played and how they've had a pretty lucky run out in playing like injured Baker Mayfield, and even at the best of times, it's not exactly a tall task in terms of top tier NFL quarterback talent. Brett Hundley, the backup for the Baltimore Ravens, they got absolutely trounced, and this is a rematch. That's one thing that I do think weighs a little bit too much. Like I thought 10.5 should be the, the nadir, the summit, as far as points given, but clearly wrong if it's going to go to 13. I will say though, the value of points between 10.5 and 13 isn't enormous. It's like kind of like 0 to 2.5. It's like in that range, right? So it's not like a biggest deal, but it's more points. It's a higher probability of covering for Pittsburgh at 13 to 10.5. It's obvious. One number is bigger than the other. You don't need to play one of those freemium games to know that. That being said, my perception of the Steelers is clearly off. I'm not going to make a real dollar wager on it. I'm just kind of curious how this market shapes up. I want to track this one the most. I want to see how much I don't know, the Chiefs win, but they don't cover, right? Like I want to see where the public sentiment lies, right? Like week 18 is kind of a weak public betting. People go, oh yeah, I always lose on week 18. It's one of those ones where they can hang coaching strategies, or they can blame coaching strategies rather for their losses. It's like the week of the year where it's like the excuse week kind of, right? So they're going to come back to betting, assuming they have any money left over. And I want to see how this market takes form and if there is any elasticity to the number 13. So purely for a record purposes, non-contest entertainment purpose, Steelers plus 13.
And then on to the new format Monday Night Football game, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time between the Arizona Cardinals traveling to LA to take on the Rams. Rams are 4-point favorites at home. 31% of early bets are on the Rams. Fat Guy, who you got?
I think this should be plus 3.5 bad juice with the Cardinals. So I think there's a small edge on the Cardinals. I'll be betting the Cardinals. I went all underdogs this week. I did it. Right in the comments, which I always find interesting too. You watch the video to comment that I take underdogs a lot. I tend to do because when in doubt, it is mathematically slightly better. And even from a game theory perspective, you know what I mean? No one goes, and we've said this a million times, beating a dead horse. Sean McVay's not going in, clapping, and then kneeling and say, guys, we really need to win by 5, or more. That's not how this works. Both teams are trying to win and win the game, right? So the set, this is one of those spots. So yeah, this is where I have to, possibly take them to win. Do you have the money line in front of you there, Big Rye?
Yeah, it's minus 202 for the Rams, plus 178 for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And to add to this, if you wanted to get the Cardinals at Pinnacle right now, the plus 4 is actually at even juice. So nice juice, nice line. Nice opportunity here. Very slight edge.
I'm not taking the 4 points. I'm taking them to win. 178 is a nice number. Interesting how that I know it's 4 at even, so it's not, quite the same as New England 4.5 at whatever juice that is. It's not quite the same, but it was 178 to what, 181? Do you know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
180. If you tease down New England to 4 points, it's at minus 101. So it's very, very similar lines. They're just listed differently on Pinnacle.
This will be another one. I'm going to take Arizona to win. Do I actually think Arizona's going to win? No. You know what I mean? I think they're an underdog for a reason. However, though, at that odd set, I think it's reasonable. I bet the Lions at plus 165. Do I think the Lions are going to win? No. It's what happens is in the long term at this odd set, will the true probabilities outrun that? Like, are you going to have any sort of ROI? And I think there's a few percentage points on New England as a money line underdog and Arizona money line underdog. And guess what? If you go 0-2, it's not that unreasonable. This isn't financial advice. This is just how I view NFL betting in terms of money line versus spread betting. It's purely my opinion. That being said, in the contest that doesn't exist, and for the entertainment, for the record, for the lulls, to keep everyone cringe, to keep this awkwardness cringeworthy, I'm going to be taking the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, finally that's done. On to the lightning round. Las Vegas at Cincy.
Raiders.
New England at Buffalo.
Patriots.
The Sunday early game, Philly at Tampa Bay.
Eagles.
Sunday midday, San Fran at Dallas.
Niners.
Sunday night football, playoff style, Pittsburgh at Kansas City.
Steelers.
And then on Monday night football for wild card weekend, Arizona at the LA Rams.
Cardinals at a good odd set.
Fat Guy, we have the Week 17 and Week 18 leaders. Congratulations to Kev the Great in Week 17, going 11-5 against the spread, good for 69%. And also congratulations to the Week 18 winner, Antonio Brown's agent, who went 13-3, good for 81%.
Local legend.
And we've got him here 2 games above second place. Congratulations, Antonio Brown's agent. A local man, so shout out to him as well. We're peeking in at the bottom there at 9-7. We actually finished all the last 4 weeks 9-7 to help us get back to a more respectable number against the
More
spread.
respectable,
And then
yeah.
the big story, really, anybody who's been following the contest all year, Colty Boy on top. I'd have to go back, but maybe from like week 2 or 3 on, the guy's been first place overall. But he was overtaken by Billy 369, who went 11-5 this week. Unfortunately for Colty Boy, going 5-11, so he just gets nudged out at the wire by Billy 369. So congrats, Billy. 148 wins in 271 games, good for 55.4% against the spread. And congratulations, you're going to win 100 USD in Bitcoin. So we will email you, get in contact, and find a way to send to that.
Set a wallet
as
up.
As possible.
You're gonna have to do this. Set a wallet up. Billy 369, like this was just a nail biter. This came down to the last game, like Big Rye said. Unbelievable. The only thing more breathtaking than the game itself, the battle between Billy 369 and Colty Boy 69, who was unable. I like the numbers. Unable to go gate to wire Colty Boy, unfortunately. Better luck next year, but I really appreciate you guys competing.
And a big shout out to Cassone, who won last year.
Yeah.
Only 4 games shy, 53.7%. Cassone on fire 2 years in a row. That's there's definitely no mistake in that. Fat Guy, on to the JS715 name of the week, honorable mentions.
Wasn't even close to winning, but thanks for another fun season. We actually appreciate that. See, it's not even the nominal contest prize of $100 in BTC, 100 USD in BTC. It's a bit more. Price gone down a little bit lately, so we're buying the dip. Is that what they say? More cringe. But yeah, there's a lot of effort that goes into that. So we appreciate little comments like that from time to time and the engagement. In fact, thanks for the opening 25-minute nap, big sir. Probably reflecting on my solo efforts that, it gave me a little bit more respect for the comedian where you have to stand up and it's just dead air in your brain, right? My mother-in-law kept asking who I was talking to when she's on the phone with my fiance. So it couldn't have sounded good. Always sunny in Whistler. A little shout out to where we live. Well, close to. The Buccaneers told Antonio Brown to walk the plank. That's why he got undressed. Makes sense. This is the end. Jim Morrison / Antonio Brown. Absolutely. I do like that song. I can't remember. What's the last Apocalypse Now? I'm trying to think like where the imagery for that song is. So which makes sense. Omikrona. Opa. A little shout out to my Greek heritage. Who cares about all that? Let's get to the games. There we go. We love topical show jokes. Soylent Green is people. Yeah, so is Soylent Red. What's your point? Loved it. Love the comment. To be honest, we're in times where that's a little bit creepy almost, to be honest. Now let's get to the name of the week.
This is the JS715 name of the week. Whoa, kaboom!
The JS715 and name of the week.
It's not so much a name of the week, but a perhaps an invitation. So we haven't seen Dylan in some time. He did make a bet with Philadelphia legend, Untouchable Jay, and he did lose. Now, Dylan has made good on every proclamation that he is monetary and we'll call it
put his body on the line.
Currency. Putting his body on the line. Humiliation currency. He's made good. He has to make good again, unfortunately, to Untouchable Jay. But so we're going to give him a chance to do so and hopefully welcome him back into the fold. He took a little bit of a hiatus. He cooled his jets a little bit. We all like to see him and hear from him. So Dylan, you're always welcome back. We all love you, buddy. You're integral part of the show, but you do also owe Jay $100. So we'll give you the opening before we send the email out. Thank you, Dylan, for another season and more entertainment.
And remember, guys, you can make your picks against the spread for the wild card weekend at Big Rye and thefatguy.com. And Fat Guy, that's it. We have a fun slate of games for the playoffs. Raiders, Cincy, New England, Buffalo. I know a lot of people are excited for San Fran, Dallas. And I think I'm most excited for Arizona, LA Rams. I think that's going to be a nice divisional type matchup.
Yeah, that's more your speed. I looking harder at it too. New England, Buffalo. That's
going to be terrific.
Third time in a season. I always like that. Hopefully this starts out like. Go ahead.
I was going to say, especially with how like controversial that snow game was with the bad weather, and I believe that was in Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken. So getting to go back there and play again with who knows what the conditions will be, it's going to be a fun one. Redemption,
and like maybe this will become the new rivalry. We're kind of like, remember Steelers Ravens in the mid 2000s? Those were the absolute best games. Obviously, football is never going to be that physical again. The rules don't allow for it, but this kind of reminds me of that a little bit. You know what I mean? Both defenses are pretty strong. Josh Allen's a little bit of an outlier. Mac Jones isn't too much of a slouch, especially for a rookie. He's had one of the better rookie seasons I can recall. But I'm interested in this one, and I'm interested in this rivalry for the next years to come.
Well, if you guys are like me, you're going to get out that red pen and that newspaper and circle that New England at Buffalo 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time start. Good luck for your picks in Wild Card Weekend.